Tonight's hobby enhancement is Taiwan banana milk. Time for an update on the seemingly perpetually rehabilitating Dark Elves. I had come to the conclusion that the Battle Line and Monster Stomp combo isn't really a winner in my local gaming community. Worked once or twice, but it seems to not be doing the trick anymore. So a little while ago, I had painted up some shades, these lovely fellows, to do sneaky things to war machines and the like, acting as scouts, but it doesn't seem to be working very well. Kind of reminds me of stories of the SAS in the desert in Iraq. They're fine if they got transport, but without transport, irregular infantry troops are kind of vulnerable to being attacked by everybody and not being able to get where they need to go. So what I did was I painted up 2 units of 5 Dark Riders. Here's some here. Now the Dark Riders, they're the only troops I've actually bought new. I did get Dark Riders secondhand in the big pile of, one of the 2 big piles of secondhand stuff I bought. But they weren't actually proper Dark Riders, they were bodged together Glade Riders with the torsos, arms and heads of just Dark Elf, Frostburn and Spearman, I think. Something like that. That wasn't going to do the trick, it didn't look that great. So I just cut everything off of the bases and repurposed the bases because I need proper cavalry bases. And I bought some of the, I suppose they're Age of Sigmar now, Dark Riders, which are the same miniatures that the Dark Riders always were. So for colour, I did struggle a bit with what am I going to do for colour. Nice different angle there. I didn't want black horses as that would blur together with the black uniform I'm using for this army. Everyone seems to do purple based on what Games Workshop were doing around about 8th edition, but I decided to do black for my army for a bunch of reasons. Partly just to be different, partly because I haven't done an army with a black theme colour in a very long time. But grey seems to work for the horse colour. Still certainly doomy, gloomy enough. Unlike most of the browns that might come across as, well, I mean, also would have blurred in, that would have been dull as well, given that the leather is all brown. And the sort of black texture on the wash seems to work well enough. And you know what, I didn't even do any highlights on these guys, I just did grey and then swapped the wash over the top, and you know what, it's good enough. So the army accent colour is yellow. I use that to put on things that are dangerous, so the more dangerous something is, the more yellow it's got, and not proportionate to the rest of the model. I wasn't sure where to put it on this unit apart from the banners, which you can't see there. Here's one with the focus somehow. There we go. So the banners again pretty simple, just yellow with some wash slopped on it for depth. I wasn't sure where to put the yellow on the unit at first apart from the banners, so I tried the there's that little bit of what looks like might be leaf matter, some attempt at camouflage on their cloaks. So I thought, well, rather than try and do that some sort of dodgy camouflage, I'll do it for dramatic effect instead of concealment. So I put the yellow on there and then just slop some black wash over the yellow, and you know what, it works. I like it. Again, keeping it nice and simple. Didn't really specifically need highlights. I'm well and truly in the realm of just painting for efficiency to get these damn things finished rather than trying to go over everything 3 or 4 times. And the rest of the colours on the miniature are the bog standard army colours that I'm using for everything else. So black cloaks, black clothes, same approach to doing the silver, same approach to doing the brown on the leather boots, and crossbows are the same as the other crossbows in the army, all that sort of stuff. Now I've used these guys in I think one game, maybe two games at the time of filming, and the one I really remember was against Andrew is Swiss Army Knife Empire Army, the Empire Army that can do bloody everything. It's very, very hard to beat. And he's been using that army to trouser me for many, many years now. And I have pitched the Dark Elves against an army once or twice before, and it didn't work out very well. I got eaten alive. Well, more accurately, my monsters got eaten alive, which is the wrong way around. Now, so when I fielded a different style of army and I used 2 units of these guys, I won. These Dark Riders did their bloody job. They got around, they caused havoc. I mean, I think I lost 1 unit, the other one got around and just did damage. The interesting thing is, it's not so much the damage they do, it's just it had him stopping to think far more than usual through doing different things to what he's accustomed to. So it made him reconsider what to move where, because there was vulnerabilities these guys created. They're easy enough to destroy if you focus on it. But if you're focusing on them, you're not focusing on getting the job done somewhere else. And the really funny thing is, he's used his high of light cavalry against me over the years to very good effect. Flanking my war machines, flanking other units, just running around in circles, shooting at them if I don't deal with them, all that sort of crap. So it was very satisfying to do it back to him. Now, on to the next thing. I also painted up this Dark Elf Mage on the cold one. Now, when this miniature came in the big pile, I wasn't sure how I was going to use it. My concept of mages is to have them stand back a little bit, or hide them in a melee unit, like an infantry unit. I don't really see them being in fast-moving, hard-hitting, anvil units, and sticking it in a cavalry unit just looked like a liability to me. Unless you're fielding a damsel surrounded by knights, but this isn't a knight. I suspect that Bretonnian knights, being a conservative and perhaps misogynistic bunch, would probably make up uncomplimentary comments about this lovely young lady. Look at that. Who would like to go to the party she's going to? Yes, I can imagine the commentary a bit like what you hear in first-person shooters online. But I've road tested death magic recently, which I never really bothered with before, and I used it for the first time versus Andrew, using the Dark Elf army against him before I painted this miniature. And good lordy my, is it effective! It is the character assassination spell deck, but it's all at very close range. And if you've seen the battle where I fielded the Dark Riders, I think Andrew charged his general on Pegasus, that fucking Pegasus knight that's caused me hell over the years, and he charged it into a unit, into a fight it couldn't win, just to avoid getting smashed by the death magic. I might put a link to that particular battle report so you can enjoy what I enjoyed so very much doing that to Andrew. So basically maybe having a death mage who can get up close and personal with the cavalry going in for the kill strike may not be such a bad idea after all. So I look forward to finding out. I'm going to have to give this a crack in a future game. I used a very simple palette painting this miniature. I've been heading towards more and more simple palettes for a while now, partly because they're efficient. But you know, lots of strong primary colours. The bronze with the black wash and some basic bronze highlights after that. It kind of reminds me of 5th edition painting, when it wasn't quite as scientific and crazily over the top. You know, 8 or 9 stages of layering in order to paint a face. And you know, painting these old metal sculpts is kind of like a walk down memory lane, because everything these days looks so cool with the ultra detailed, very technical plastics sprue sculpts. They do the job. I do love them, but there's something gnarly about these chunky old metal sculpts that still does it for me. And it is a hodgepodge army. You know, it's a whole mix of stuff from different eras and ages. I mean, some of these miniatures go back to 4th edition, I think. The way I see it, this mess has a character all of its own. When you paint an army, this is why I like painting my armies instead of buying them secondhand already painted. When you paint it, you sort of you claim it. It becomes yours, even if it belonged to somebody else before. It's now yours because you're the one who slopped paint on it, and it's your paint style. It all sort of brings it all together, even if you've got a hodgepodge of figures from different places. So at the end of the day, even though the miniatures are from a whole bunch of different eras, it's not going to look so much like that when it's finished. It's all going to have the army theme colours bringing it all together. Shall I just show you something quickly? So I figure that with this particular model of Cold One, I'll put her about there, focus. It's the same sort of Cold One that's on a couple of chariots that I haven't painted yet, but it's also fits, put that fella there, fits in well with this lot. It's the same sort of Cold One, and these are 6th edition metal sculpts, so like the peak metal, before Games Workshop started going full plastic. And she fits that unit very nicely. I think aesthetically that will do the job. We have a unit of 10 of the 8th edition plastics of Cold One Riders, will charge around like a bloody great big hammer. And we've got the backup hammer, which has got the Death Mage lady, so she can get up close and personal and have some fun as well. So that should do the trick. Now, the pile of secondhand minis that I bought came with plenty of assassins. I think I kept 3 of them. Should be enough. And plenty of magic users, infantry magic users. I think there's 2 or 3 of them. But no footlords or heroes. So I figure I need at least 1 for a proper general when the mage just won't cut it for the general. I want more, steel in the rank and file, I suppose, than just getting that 1 assassin. And it's, in some ways you don't really need it, but it does bring a lot more variety to the game, so you're not fielding exactly the same sort of list or the same sort of style of character approach as you would otherwise be doing. And I like to mix and match, I like variety. I'm not one of these people who gets to one list and specialises the shit out of it, like certain people I know who actually tend to do very well with such lists. Now, for those of you who have long memories, this character here, I've forgotten his name, is a special character. I think he came with a magazine in 1 edition, going back to late 90s, early 2000s, somewhere around that period of time. And he was a special edition. I think he was supposed to be an assassin, but he wasn't exactly good, he wasn't exactly bad. He would have been, neutral in the Dungeons and Dragons parlance. I'm not sure how you get neutral. He's got to be either a chaotic or neutral or what the fuck, I can't remember. I haven't played D&D in a long time. Anywho, he's an assassin guy, anti-hero territory. And back in the day, the old Games Workshop stores had a painting contest featuring this mini. So I did him up, not in this colours, in different colours, and I think I came third at the local store. I did this little diorama on a little round base, which is basically him standing or heroic before a door that he was about to go through, an open door. And on the ground in front of him, there was a Mordheim figure that I'd butchered. So it was lying on the ground, and the head was separate to the body, and I painted it so the head was sitting upright with a mouthful of blood, and the body had blood spurting out where the head used to be, all that sort of thing. I don't have that anymore. It broke over successive house moves and so on, and it wasn't the best paint job ever. But anyway, I had some fun with it. So I pulled this guy off the remains of that diorama, stripped him back, and retasked him for the Dark Elves, so his colour scheme fits in. Someone who's more familiar with this figure can decide in which direction he's rehabilitating. But I did the cloak with just a couple of shades of different kinds of grey for dry brushing. That was alright. Did a quick job on the steel, wasn't too fussed about it. He's now a redhead for some reason, probably because I had that out to do the mage. I did fuck up the inside of his cloak though. The yellow came out horribly. I've never learned how to paint yellow properly, I just butcher it every time. Yeah, not entirely proud of that, to be honest, but you know what, screw it, it'll do. And with that, this army edges ever closer to completion. It's now much more effective thanks to the Dark Riders, and I can see the magic getting more mix and match. People are going to have a harder time predicting how this army is going to work and a harder time predicting how to fight it. So that works just fine. So to work out what to paint next, a couple of chariots, some random monster. I'm probably going to save the Lord on the dragon till last. And I've got like 30 odd, 35 odd infantry I've got to paint. I'm really not looking forward to that. I've been painting Prussians lately, and I've painted more than enough 28mm infantry for the time being. But anyway, that's it. Might have the war won before Christmas. We'll see how we go. No, actually, no, I won't. It'll definitely be into next year. Anyway, feel free to hit like, subscribe, share with your friends, comment. Do you like the limited palette approach to painting? Do you not respect painting unless it has the 15 layers of Games Workshop perfection? How do you use your Dark Elves to actually win a battle? So I've been learning as I go, as I gradually paint things up. I don't feel it unless it's painted. Anyway, leave a comment, helps the algorithm. Time to call it a night.